So we start this second day. So today, as I said, you will still be working on this idea. Then we move to system concept design. Okay, so from collecting several ideas in several directions, and I told you as much how important this is when we want to go towards radical innovation. So it's really very important to take a good time to explore all possible opportunities. You will use the innovation diagram that you will download from the Lens platform. But I will tell you this, and the first thing that you will be doing, you will insert the most promising idea you will discuss in the group, and they could be, in this case, SPSS applied to the idea, but even environmentally promising SPSS idea, as well as socio-ethically promising idea. Then you may take a little bit of time to generate new idea, because while putting the idea into this polarity diagram, in which we have it's polarizing, centralized on one side, distributed and decentralized here, and B2B and B2C on the other. So you have to position those. You may see that well, there is an empty space here. So you may say, oh, what about if I have the same idea, but this goes maybe more decentralized and in B2B instead of being B2C or something like this. So it's still a moment. It's not just a copy and paste and selection, but again, a moment of ideation, okay? Indeed, when you're putting the idea together, when you are selecting, and when you are starting to cluster the idea, you see some new idea may emerge. This is a time to write new idea there inside, okay? So it's not just a technical things of copying and pasting and finding the right place to set it, okay? It's still an idea generation phase. And then finally, take a decision, okay? So maybe there is a cluster of idea. Some could be environmentally sustainable, others socio-ethically sustainable. Obviously, they should be win-win, so they should be even beneficial in economic terms, and so on. And some could be related to SPSS and DA. So you select some. Believably, at this stage, the idea should be coherent with each other. So we are starting to define a concept. We cannot have an idea that cannot be together in one concept, okay? They cannot offer something that is totally incoherent with another idea that is part of this. So here is a moment to take a decision, okay? So you select this cluster. You can make a balloon like this or do the way you want. And even write the first short text, okay? Not many words, but just to fix something, okay? Again, here, we are speaking about a system idea. So a system idea is not just a product idea, a technological idea. It's more about the stakeholder, how they are involved, and so on. Another action that you are asked to do to profile your starting idea or your starting concept better, and to understand whether this is really going into the direction of being an SPSS concept, okay? And what kind of distributed configuration it has. So it's still really centralized, or it's going towards a distributed or decentralized system, and so on. And so we have on this side, you have a profiling space in which you will copy and paste some label. So in the same tool, you will find on other pages one part which is related to the provider. You see, the provider is the first one, okay? And these are all I will show you now. Okay, so you can drag and drop what type, for example, there is a provider. You have a set of different icon prepare. You may define another one if there is not the one that you want. And you can write inside what kind of, if it's an enterprise, what kind of enterprise this is. And you can actually even identify what they are providing. So it's water water management stakeholder. Okay, you can drag and drop that, but you can do that understanding at the same time where there is I should go back because you don't see here. You have here is centralized, decentralized, and distributed. And so it could be that there is, in that case, is an enterprise that is dealing with water management and is a decentralized system of doing this. Okay. This is the starting. It's not that you have already defined all the things, but you start to to profile this. The same you did for the provider, you're going to do for, there could be more than one provider. For the customer, you're going to do the same, okay? So you select, you will find some label for the customer. There is the one that you like. Okay, take it. Maybe you add a text specifying. You add a characterization icon saying what the customer is receiving. And then the type of sustainable approach system. Remember, we have three typologies: product-oriented, result-oriented, and user-oriented, okay? Indeed, your proposal should be at least one of these three, all right? If there is nothing in your proposal that is linked to this, maybe you have to rethink a little bit, okay? So this is not only helpful to profile this and understand where you are going, but even to understand if indeed you develop something that is oriented toward a win-win solution, because we understood that SPSS are win-win proposal in environmental, socio-ethical, and economical terms. So maybe it's result-oriented, and you can indeed even, or you should place this, the result-oriented offer, understanding whether this is a B2B or B2C, okay? So there you have the space of B2C and below to B2B. Then what else we can profile? The product. So we can put, maybe there is a microwave that is part of our system. And so we can drag and drop the product that is offered. But we have to say even something about the ownership. So who is the product owner? You remember that in SPSS, the ownership is a key important issue. In the first type of the product-oriented, the provider, the manufacturer remain still the owner. In the other two, the more radical SPSS innovation, the provider remain the owner. Okay, so it's good to highlight who is, and maybe you have already the label made because you put it where it was the provider, so you copy and paste and you put it there below. Okay, product service system. So there is the service part. Again, there is another part. There is another database of label with the main services. Okay, along the life cycle service. There could be other. Okay, you can add another one. In this case, it's a maintenance and repair. So we put this because this is part of it. You can even specify what kind of maintenance to what kind of product. Nevertheless, again here, let's try to describe who is the service provider. In many of the SPSS, there is not just, you remember, the provider are offering product with all-inclusive services. Okay, so it's not that I'm just selling the product and then I don't discuss anymore with the customer and so on. What is paid, and you remember that even the type of payment in an SPSS are slightly different from, or sometimes are quite different from the traditional sale product. So it could be a pay-per-use, pay-per-wash, pay-per-cook, I don't know, whatever it will be, okay? So you will select the label and you will put it there. Finally, we have a space related to the offer configuration. So what we are offering, for example, there is even the energy generation that is offered for the system. So not only something related to only the meat and the cooking, but even because the system is wider. So you have to think in a wider sense. It's not that everyone has to design even the energy providing system, but this could be, and if this is the case, okay, you will put that there is an energy provider, and you will highlight as well the offer structure. So in this, I have that you will find other icon. It is a decentralized standalone system. Okay, the innovation diagram is not only used for developing, selecting idea and developing a draft concept. Is used even, I told you in a preliminary lecture, when introducing the methodology, even for analyzing the existing offer, your existing offer, as well as the competitors, okay? Then we go on. Then you will start to use a key tool in system design. This is not only related to sustainable system map, even though we develop, as I told you, a peculiar system map, an SPSS system map, let's say, useful even for designing the centralized system. And let's see how you will use it. You will download the tool. You will have a blank board, which is the place in which you will put the actor. But let's go step by step to see few things. Okay. So one thing is you have to define the system boundary. It means that you may have some main stakeholder and secondary stakeholder. So some stakeholders that are really key important to the system, and some others that are part of the system but are not so important. So if this is the case in your concept, you can identify this. Another thing is related to the stakeholder itself. So for the stakeholder, we have a stakeholder icon. We already So when I described before, into the system map that you will develop, you will have all those icons, so you can use them, okay? So you don't have to draw everything by the beginning and blah, blah. You have a characterization icon, so, okay, he's an enterprise, but what he's doing is dealing with electricity, so it's an icon that is it's making this to be characteristic, and it's even saying that a decentralized system is characterized by having not a full circle, but by having how you say, not a dotted, but with small lines. It could be that you want to characterize the icon even better, okay? Because so you can change the image inside, because it's okay. It's not only related to energy. I want to highlight what type of energy or so on, and that's it. Anyhow, you will put even a description text. So there are 3 elements that describe the stakeholder, okay? These 3 elements. And you do this for all of the actors. We use the dark violet for the provider, a magenta icon for the customer, okay? To help achieve the understanding of the whole system. Indeed, in the system map, you will find a kind of a library, okay, of provider, of customer, of characterization icon in relation to either distributed, decentralized, and centralized, and the different type of what you can offer. We made a classification. So you select this, you copy and paste the characterization icon there inside, and you copy and paste the icon into the system map, so the blank board, okay? And you come up with a system in which you see already some other element that we are going to see now, which are the interaction on the different actors. We are designing a configuration of the actor, okay? Means the actors with their characteristic as well as their interaction. So the interaction is described by an arrow plus a description plus an icon. We have, and there is a legenda here below, but we have to help achieve the reading of a system map, we have material flow that are made with a full line. We have information flow, which is made with the dashed line. Now it came to my mind, okay? We have financial flow, which is made in this other way, so with some point. And we have some labor flow, which are made in this other way. When you make the interaction, it's even good to add a reading order, because some action may happen in the system. Something happened before and something happened after, so put a reading order. Indeed, in the system map tool, you can download even a library of icons. So if you prefer to take it from here, it's fine. Since on the arrow you can put as well an icon to help achieve a better reading, you know, when you are describing, when you're showing a system map. We have, for example, there is a service, and you can drag and drop the icon of a training, because that service is a training. And so you will have the arrow as a service going from one actor to the other actor. You describe it shortly, and you can add even this icon to help achieve a a faster reading. Okay? Then there is another important thing. This is really peculiar for SPSS, so you will not find in other system map. We have to show the product ownership because it's a key important thing. So you have to put, and it's even there in the legenda, a dashed square around the owner and the equipment. So if the solar panel is in the ownership of the community, we will make it in this way, okay? If it remains by the provider, it should have been on the other side. Another thing that may be important many times is that there could be a partnership between different producers. When we are looking up to a system level, the OWEN producer may decide to make a partnership with the energy supplier, because if they want to sell a paper cook in which the user is not paying the electricity, it could be interesting that the two stakeholders are together in a partnership while offering this. So if you need to do that, here you're going to use this type of square around the two actors that are in the partnership. So again, here you can take, you can drag and drop because we have already there in the tool. Stakeholder system map, indeed, I told you something. So for you to be able to work today, there are some other information that you may find either on the lens, so as a video or a slide, or yes, of course, even on the book System Design for Sustainability in Practice. Then, when this is made, just to complete the work of today, okay, you said, I had those ideas, I made a cluster, I understood something, I start designing a system map, and while designing a system map, you will discover that, oh, here is missing one actor, how can I do that? And so you will add some other actor and so on. So it will come up a system configuration. At this stage, you will use another tool, very, very simple, but nevertheless, it's one slide into which you have, it's called SPSS concept description form, in which you can, you write a satisfaction unit, you can give a concept title if you have, you write a short description and you give a characterization of the offer. Here you're not putting the icon, you simply write a short text, okay? Even this, there is few words more, okay? Few description more in the video and the slide already on the Lens website, okay?